Hey everybody, it's Rick Trummer from Rick Trummer Consulting and Training, and welcome to video 5 of the retouching video. Today we're not going to do so much retouching. We are going to be talking about different methods of creating black and white. One of the things that I learned from Thomas Knoll is that he always said, again, Thomas Knoll is the inventor of Photoshop, or at least the guy that's credited with coming up with Photoshop. Is he said that the reason that there's so many ways of doing things inside Photoshop is because him and his buddies could never figure out what way would be best. And so that's the reason why there's so many ways of doing things inside Photoshop. So a lot of people will go through and do conversions in black and white, and they're not necessarily the best way of doing it. So the first way that I learned how to do black and white, everybody was saying, oh, this is how you do it. You just go into the image, and then you just go into the mode and you switch it to grayscale and you discard the color thing, and then you've got your black and white symbol. Okay, so a lot of people have gone through that and they said that's a pretty good method. Well, it doesn't look that great with all the great plugins that they've got nowadays, especially with Nick filters and all of the others. You can go in and do so many other great things inside here. Photoshop put in a really nice black and white filter that works really well. The other way that I learned right away is to go in and to actually desaturate your actual image itself. Now, the way to do that, of course, you could go right into your adjustments area and then go into desaturate. And again, not a great way. You can see you're not getting too much difference. It's a little bit different, but not too much difference inside here. So you could do it that way. They put in a black and white filter for a very good reason. You can go into the black and white filter, and now you could make adjustments in here by controlling different areas of that. Now, you know, she's got yellow on, so you can make some movement there. And of course, you can make some changes inside here and kind of bring up certain areas and others based on its color palette. One of the things that I learned really quickly, let's just kind of go through here and go through some adjustments. One of the things that I worked really quickly on, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Just quickly take a look at the difference between black and white by using that black and white filter. It's very cool. One of the things that I learned very quickly when doing black and white is using first the hue and saturation slider. If you go into the hue and saturation slider first and you actually saturate your colors up just a little bit, let's just saturate them up. Just move this up just a little bit. Okay, now what we can do is we go back to the original image, and what we're going to do is we're the black and white over the top. Now what we'll do is put that over the top of that actual area. And what's going to happen is you're going to find out that you're going to be able to accentuate some of those colors that are inside here a little bit differently. So if you take a look at the different zonal qualities, you can see that you're going to get a lot more color fidelity out of your black and white image if you go into the hue and saturation slider first and then be able to manipulate it that way. So this is one of the methods that I learned earlier on that I thought was really good. So by using that hue and saturation slider first, you can change a lot of the color palette that you would have, and you're going to see a much different color effect. So just by doing that, you can see the differences that you have inside your black and white. The last method that I'm going to go over really quickly is kind of going in and doing something a little bit different. It's using the calculations area. Now, normally what you want to do when you're into calculations is you're going to want to put your first channel over a second channel. Now, there's no rhyme or reason of how you're doing this. Some people like to go red with green. Some people like to go green with red. I would stay away from the blue. The three channels are very different works. The red channel kind of controls the contrast of that particular file. The green channel controls the detail of that particular file. And then the last thing is that the blue channel kind of controls the noise of that particular file. So when you're getting off colors, they kind of have a subchapter of all of those other things inside there. So what you want to do is you can then switch the blending mode inside here once you've gotten your different channels one over the other. And what you can do is change the percentage of that. This is a really unique way of going in and doing different types of black and white quality. And then you can change the blending option. This will allow you a lot of control. The problem is that every file is different than the one before, so none of them will be exactly the same when you go in. You think that you're going to have something that's going on that you're going to automatically always looks good, and the next thing you know, you try it on another file, and it's just not quite the same. But the cool thing about it is you get a beautiful, beautiful color or a beautiful, beautiful black and white print from the idea of going through and spending the extra time to go through the calculations area. So this is just a different way of doing it. It's a lot more time consuming, definitely. But when you get it to the end result, when you actually go in and you've got a really, really cool end result, I think that you'll find that there's a very easy way of doing this. Now, once you're done with any of these, you're going to want to take them in from their normal color mode to making sure that you're putting your mode back into grayscale. So any of these methods that you're doing, I want you to try to go through these, but you can see that last one with calculations, it looks beautiful. And then as you go through all of the different methods that you have here. I hope you enjoyed this series on converting black and white images. And in the retouching, we've got one more day of retouching to go, and then I'm going to be starting in the new color series and showing how to manipulate color inside Photoshop. Again, I'm Rick Trummer from Rick Trummer Consulting and Training. I hope you've enjoyed this series on retouching. We've got one more day left, and thanks everybody for watching.